Welcome to part 2 of the Leverage Technologies Customer Overview for August 2015. In part 1, we reviewed various new functions and features in SAP Business One 9.1. In this second part of the session, we're going to review SAP Business One HANA and various SAP Business One reporting tools. Now, the next part of the presentation I want to discuss a little bit about, as we lead into the reporting part of the presentation, SQL versus HANA, because I'll show you some of the reporting in the HANA version of SAP Business One. So when I logged into SAP Business One, I mentioned that this was the HANA 9.1 version, and as I scrolled down, I mentioned the KPIs, the dashboards, etc. So let's look at a few of the HANA functions and features. First of all, we looked at the KPIs and dashboards. What are the things I'd like to discuss? Drill down. I go into my Open AR invoices. I click on the number 5 because there are 5 in there, and I can see the invoices. Now, if I want, I can click and open up that particular invoice. So again, start at a high level of information, drill down to more detail at the click of a button. The next thing I want to show users today is let's look at this purchasing process workflow. So in this instance, this demo data starts with a purchase request onto a purchase order, a goods receipt, an AP invoice. Now, if your business doesn't start with a purchase request, then what I can do is I can do away with the purchase request and simply start with a purchase order. But the beauty is, for a user, they don't actually have to log into the menu structure to get to these items. I can simply say I want to do a purchase order, click on the item, and SAP Business One HANA opens up a purchase order. The little blue button, I can click on that blue button. It says, here are multiple related items to the purchase order. What I want to look at is my open items list. There it is, my open items list. Double click, sort, typical SAP functionality. So these workflows are a great example in SAP Business One HANA of, again, just more usability, making it easy for the user to access the information that they want. Let's look at some other HANA examples. Click on the enterprise search. What am I looking for? I'm looking for an item with the word office in it. The in-memory technology in SAP Business One HANA now searches across the entire SAP Business One HANA database, and it brings me back 19 pages of information. It tells me there's 1 business partner, 4 charts of accounts, 2 items, 21 AR invoices, 12 sales deliveries, and 34 orders with the word office in it. I'm interested in the sales order, so let's drill down on that. Now I narrow down my choices as I start to look just at one element of the search criteria. Now I know that this particular order was for Bob, so let me untick the other users. There are multiple ways to get this, but now I can see I'm down to 2 pages of information. I'm still searching for what I want. I know it was for Earthshaker, so let me untick the rest. I'm starting to narrow down my search criteria. I can run my search criteria by date, so I can put in the date range I'm looking for. And then what will happen is the system will ultimately, so let me narrow down my date range as well. Let's just make it 2015, and let's say demo data, so we're not sure exactly what's in here. We say OK. The system narrows down to 1 page of information I might be looking at. So this is an example of starting with a very broad search in SAP Business One HANA and narrowing down to the information I want. I simply typed in the word office. It gave me a range of documents. I clicked on the fact that I wanted sales orders. It narrowed down the range to sales orders. I gave it the fact that I was looking for sales orders that were for customer C40,000. It narrowed down the range. I said it was for a particular contact person. It narrowed down the range. And then I narrowed down the range further by looking at particular document dates. So again, the ability to search by multiple criteria and then drill down to what I'm looking for. Very useful if, for example, you've received an incoming AP invoice, you know it was for Office 365, but you can't remember when it was. Simply type in the word Office 365, start the search criteria, off we go. So again, a great function of SAP Business One HANA. Let me show you now some of the I'm going to show you one of the apps in SAP Business One HANA. This is a cash flow app. So let me just slide the time bar. The time bar tells me which dates I'm going to be looking at. I'm going to narrow down my date range a little bit. So I've just slid that across to the left-hand side. The system's now doing a search across multiple items and documents. Let's open up the configuration tab and the settings. So as with any cash flow, I have different certainty levels. Certainty level 1 is cash that I'm certain of. So obviously cash in my accounts. It's in Westpac, it's in ANZ, I'm certain of that. Certainty level 8 is very low certainty. So it may be, for example, sales orders, because let's slide sales orders into level 8, because I'm not sure whether I've got stock. If I get stock, I'm not sure I'll get paid, etc. So I can move these elements around. AP invoices I normally pay on time, so I'm going to put them into certainty level 2. Let's save that. So I'm configuring the system in the background there based on my rules. Then what I can also do is I can add criteria. I don't want to see opening balances. I just want to see net movement. So I untick opening balances. I do want to see draft documents, or I don't want to see draft documents. So again, I've got multiple elements I can change. Now the certainty level bar here allows me to say I only want to see items that are very, very certain of being received. Not much movement on the cash flow. Or I want to see all items. Quite a bit of movement on the cash flow. Let me have a look now at a particular, let me narrow down the date range. I want to have a look at the cash flow over the next few days effectively. So again, I can start to narrow down my choices based on what I want to see, what date ranges I want to see, etc. And the system moves accordingly. So as the system moves through those particular reporting criteria, I can obviously then drill down and I can see what makes up a particular item as well. So I get to scroll down below the bar here and see the calculations, and then above the line up here I get to go in and I get to drill down as well on various elements and say what makes up that number. That's what makes up that particular number, be it for incoming or for outgoing payments. So again, a great cash flow function there with the ability to configure the cash flow, run the cash flow through that SAP Business One HANA to see exactly what that cash flow is going to look like based on my criteria. A couple of other functions in SAP Business One HANA I want to have a look at. Pervasive analytics. This is the ability to change existing KPIs and dashboards, add your own, etc. So what I can see here is multiple KPIs and dashboards. Payables overdue, goods returns amount, sample sales, top 5 suppliers, top 5 customers. I can create my own KPIs. So I can say I want an analytical view, sales analysis. What I want to see quantity, drag it in there, and I want to see due date, drag it in there. Creates the KPI for me. That KPI can now be saved. I can set my goals for the KPI, I can do my year-over-year analysis, and then save the KPI to my dashboard. Of course, I can do filters and things like that as well. But basic example, let's now say I want revenue rather. Let's change it to revenue. There's the KPI. So what SAP is doing is giving me all of the options. I'm simply dragging them onto the KPI designer, and away I go. Let's have a look, for example, now at a dashboard. So let's go in. Let's say I want to see some information. Let's have a look at sales revenue analysis just to keep it nice and simple. Simply drag the information I want. I want revenue, and I want it by customer name and code. There's my report. I want it by top X number of customers. Actually, I think what I'll do is I'll put that into a pie chart. No, I don't like the pie chart. I might go into a line chart. So I'm simply changing the report as I go. Now, obviously, I can go in and I can filter that report. I can do other elements with that report. I can review the report in a grid format. I can review it in the graphical format. Actually, I don't want customer code and name. I just want code. Just clean up the report a little. Yeah, I like that. So I'm just creating these reports on the fly, but what you can see is that in SAP Business One HANA, SAP's done a lot of the work for us. We're simply adjusting and modifying those KPIs and dashboards. Let me show you something else called interactive analysis in SAP Business One HANA. I've got some criteria here: purchase analysis, supplier analysis, budget analysis, financial analysis. Let's look at sales revenue analysis. I'll click on the button. It will immediately open MS Excel. Now basically, again, this is pretty much pivot tables, but SAP's done all the hard work for us. The pivot table is created on the right hand side. I'm just going to click on what I want to see. I want to see base amount. I want to see it by Let's have a look what I want to see by item. And I think I want to see it by month. Well, that's a bit messy, so what I'll do is I'll take month and I'll filter by month. Actually, the other thing I'd like to filter by is by sales employee. So let me drag down sales employee and filter by sales employee. And there you go. I've very quickly written a report by item, by posting date, by sales employee, by simply dragging the information that I want to see from the criteria into SAP Business One. Okay, so I'm just click on the information I want. There, that includes, for example, quantity and gross profit as well. Let's just move that across a bit to clean it up. Yeah, there we go. That's the report I want. So very quick, very simple ad hoc reporting inside the SAP Business One HANA framework. So we've looked at interactive analysis, we've looked at pervasive analytics, we've looked at cash flow analysis, 3 fairly simple examples. So now we see that more traditional view of SAP Business One, SQL Server. I've got a browser running in the background with the Leverage Technologies website. Now what I want to do is I'm going to show you some additional reporting. So let's go into modules, let's go into sales, let's go into sales reports, let's go into my customer dashboard. Call up the customer dashboard, and what we'll see, let's enter the financial year 2012, because I know it's got some data. This is demo data after all. And now what I can see is a report by customer code, sales by month, sales by item group, top 30 products. Page 1. Page 2, additional grid-like data. Page 1, the overview. Just one simple example. Let's call up another example, sales employee dashboard. Let's go 2012 again. Let's click on that. So for all salespeople, sales by month, by item, JB printers, PCs, top 10 products, top 10 customers. Page 2, build sales. Page 3, Brad. Back to page 1, all salespeople. So again, what we're seeing is very nice graphical reporting built into the menu structure in SAP Business One. It happens to be SAP Crystal. I'm going to show you something else now. I could do this in the HANA version or in the SQL version. I'll show you in SQL though, because we're in this company. Let's go into Earthshaker Corporation. Now, when I want to write a report in SAP Business One or in any application, what I need to know is what are the table and field names that I want to write that report on. So in SAP Business One, great functionality. I go to Tools, I click on the, I go to View, System Information. I hover over the field I want to write the report on. And down the bottom left-hand side, I can see BP code, C40,000, Form 134, and then I see OCRD card code. Now that's telling me that OCRD is the table and card code is the field name. As I hover over the next element I want to write the report on, because let's assume I'm writing the report on customer code, customer name, and so hover over customer name, it says card name. Hover over phone number, it says phone 1. So SAP Business One is telling me which fields are available and what the table names are to write my report. Now I simply go into Tools, I go into Queries, Query Generator, the system told me OCRD tab. Very quick. What did I want? I wanted the card code, I wanted the name, I wanted the address. While I'm here, I might as well get the facts, I'll get the contact person, I'll get the notes, and I'll get the account balance. Click, there's the report. I can see the SQL's written for me, or the HANA if I'm in HANA. And I can see there's my report. So fantastic, simple. SAP Business One functionality allows me to, shows me what the table names are, shows me what the fields are, allows me to put in the table name, drag the fields across, there's my report. If I want to get a little bit fancier, I can now put in another table, CRD1, tab, click additional information, and there's my report. So again, this is fantastic because I can now save this report to the report structure, the report menu, and come back to it at a later date. It's already created the drill downs for me to the actual customer in question. Fantastic. Easy to use to write your own queries. I'm going to show you some functionality associated with SSRS. So if you've got SQL Server, SSRS is effectively shipped with it. Let's just go into a sales report. So I click on the report. These reports can be pushed into PDF or Excel and can be scheduled to run. There it is. Sales by item group, sales for today, by current month, by current year, month-to-date, year-to-date sales. Nice, simple, available on the web. I'm into a web browser here, PDF it, schedule it to run on a Monday morning and send it to your salespeople. Fantastic. Very, very easy to use and an inexpensive reporting option associated with SAP Business One with SQL Server. Let's look at another reporting option, SAP Lumira. I'm very, very excited about this. We've seen constant enhancements in this area and some great pricing for SAP Business One customers. So another SAP reporting tool. Let's go into the sales sample here. Now I could have this in the cloud and I can share this in the cloud. So yesterday some of the consultants here at Leverage Technologies were writing some reports and then they were pushing them into the cloud for me to access those reports in the cloud and just drag them down, have a look at those reports and see whether or not I think they're applicable. So what I can now do, the idea behind Lumira is that I prepare my data, I visualize, compose, and then share my data. So effectively what that means is I go in, preparation of the data says this is the data that's available. Now again, what SAP is doing is very much built around self-service business intelligence, self-service BI. On the left-hand side here, I can see multiple aspects that are available: item group, item description, time of year, country, region, day, time, end of month, etc. These are all elements, dimensions, and measures that I can use in my reporting. SAP's made them available to me already. I simply drag across what I want to see. So this particular graphic I'm looking at here has, for example, sales in New York, sales in Brisbane and Sydney. It has a timeline down the bottom that I can drag and I can show the different timelines, what's been sold. So quite dynamic reporting. I have the ability to review the reports in multiple different ways and aspects as well. So let's, for example, call up a report by item group by salesperson. So here we can see by salesperson by item group. And now what I can do is I can drag other elements into here. So if I don't want to see it by item group, I want to see it by some other criteria, again, I could just grab that criteria and push that criteria in. I can drag in, for example, month, or I could drag in year. Let's drag year in rather. So I'm going to drag in the word year. And now the system will give me that same report by year. Actually, I don't want it by year by sales employee, so I'm going to get rid of sales employee. Now I'm just seeing it by year, irrelevant of the sales employee. Now, of course, you can do other things, like I can go in here for 2000 and let's have a look, 2012. And I can click and I can drill down, I can filter, I can do other things. So let's drill down to the item description, or down to the filter, down to the year, etc. So very quick, easy example, but I'm drilling down, drilling around to the various aspects that are on this report. Then what I can do is, as I compose my report, so we saw there some sales by quantity, by year and description, and before that we saw some elements associated with the world map and what we had sold. Now I can create a storyboard. So effectively what a storyboard allows me to do is say I'm going into a sales meeting on Monday morning. There are three key elements I want to see. I want to see my sales and quantity by sales employee and item group. I want to see my sales and forecast for the year. This is not a good forecast, and the reason is it's demo data, so I don't have a lot of recent data in here. And I want to see sales by city and item group. So there I've created a storyboard that includes three key elements: sales and quantity, sales forecast, sales by city. Now when I go into my sales meeting, I can take that in with me. Now when I'm in there, I can obviously slice and dice those reports. I can have a look at various things on the report that I do or don't want included on the report. So I just want to have a look at 2012, the report dynamically changes, etc. I can look just for one customer group, for example. So I just want to have a look for high tech or for distributors or for construction or whatever the case might be. And then I create my storyboard, or I create a new storyboard. So what SAP Lumira is doing is a few key things. One is it's making the data, the dimensions available for us quickly and easily out of SAP Business One or SAP HANA to quickly drag across what we want to see. Then the system's allowing me to visualize and compose into a storyboard the various elements I want to see and I want to take into my meeting with me. So again, another great SAP Business One reporting tool. So let's recap a few things we've seen in terms of reporting. We've looked at SAP Business One HANA, and in HANA we've looked at KPIs and dashboards, we've looked at pervasive analytics, interactive analysis, and a cash flow reporting tool. We've looked at the Crystal reports in the SQL Server version of SAP Business One. We've looked at the ability to create pivot tables, and I can show you as well on the pivot table side of things that not only can we create the pivot tables, but if I go back into SAP Business One, I can just launch them from the main menu. Let me go in and let me run a sales analysis. Okay, and there it is. Sales analysis, pivot table, run from the main menu structure. I can do things like SQL Server reporting services. I've got SAP Lumira. I can create my own queries with SAP pointing out to me where the actual database and other elements, field names and table names are. So again, just making it nice and simple to do my reporting. A myriad of different options available in SAP Business One. In terms of our reporting options, BI, analytics, multiple dimensional reporting, which reporting tools are best for my business? SAP Queries, SAP Lumira, standard SAP reporting, pivot tables, etc. In truth, there is no single right answer. You have to look at your budget. You've got to look at the format of the reports you want. You've got to look at where the data is coming from. You need to look at the output. Are they on-screen or mobility required reports? What type of reports do you require? Operational, financial, consolidation. Only through considering those multiple aspects to your reporting requirements will you be able to have a look at which reporting tool is right for your business. And that's why today I've given you a number of different options. One of the things I'd like you to do is, if you've enjoyed this presentation, sign up to the Leverage blogs. If you go onto the Leverage website at www.leveragetech.com.au, what you will see is that you can subscribe to our blogs and you'll get a number of updates about SAP Business One 9.1, 9.2 is going to be released soon, elements like what's available in the latest version, what's the latest on HANA, etc. So that concludes the presentation. I hope you've enjoyed it. To recap, we covered off on some 9.1 functions and features like Excel integration, user interface, GUI changes, manufacturing and distribution enhancements. And then we looked at multiple different reporting options in SAP Business One that you, I'm sure, can use in your business to improve the way you do business and to run your business simple on SAP Business One. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the presentation.